Where'd you get it?
99 cent store.
$3.99.
Yeah.
So it's known as the Mouse Chase toy. Little scratching pad.
He laid over it, but I haven't seen him scratch. I think he's mad at it. Oh, yeah.
Did he? Oh, where's he? He's looking. Yeah, he does seem to show interest.
He did for like 20 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
I think he got mad at it.
So total $4.
Yeah.
Just, they kind of swat at it like that. As you can see, it's kind of round. It's a round structure. There's the little mouse inside of it. So you're kind of looking at it. I don't really know if they can really figure. You see his tail. He looks like a little frustrated. Now, some of the toys he does enjoy quite often. He likes this thing a lot. For some reason, he likes the color of these balls, and he'll only chase after these particular balls right here. He does like that, probably a little bit better. Find it, Kitty? He's still exploring because Linda just now bought this device.
He played with it for 20 minutes earlier.
She said he was playing with about 20 minutes.
And he was actually standing up, not laying down. I think he wants some food. He probably knows you're leaving.
Spray some catnip in there or something that might work. So that's actually catnip spray. That seemed to get his attention. There he goes. So it requires a little bit of catnip spray. Yeah, once you get the catnip going, you really, you know, seems to partake in the actual trying to get the mouse. Yeah, it looks like he might enjoy this quite a bit. So this might be one of the toys. Once you spray the mouse with the catnip, it really kind of flips out a little bit. Another device. Let's see if we can distract him a little bit. No, he full on wants to get that mouse. A little bit of distraction there for a minute. Going back to the mouse. Chase is what they call it. Chase mouse or mouse chase. Looks like he saw something over there for a minute. There he goes. Kind of focusing in. Mostly for his paws. And it kind of spins around a little bit. And lost some attention there. He's kind of looking to the right, and he's looking back that way. Heard a noise or something. He's pretty focused in on it. I haven't seen Kitty this focused in quite a bit of time. Going back into the paw, putting the paw inside the device. And he's sliding, seems to kind of sliding around. It's not very stationary. But now he's underneath the recliner at this moment. You can kind of see the recliner leg right around here. He's under the recliner looking up. I think he realizes he's being filmed. Sometimes he knows. And sometimes he doesn't care. He's just kind of looking at the device. You see his tail. A little bit of frustration, not a whole lot. Seems to enjoy it. He's not like completely annoyed. He was earlier. Couldn't really figure it out, but now he seems to kind of catching on in the program. He's got a little bit of claw right there. The thing that he really likes is that ball right there, so you can kind of see that he really does enjoy this new mouse chase, as you call it, device. Kind of sniffing the couch or the recliner. Trying to stick his face in it quite a bit. It's like well.
All right, sweetie. Have a nice day at the factory.
All right, looks like we're dealing with 77 degrees in Fahrenheit and 208,378 miles on the odometer. It is February 22nd of 2024. So I went back and I, reviewed a lot of the screenplay. We got a lot of traffic February 22nd. Let's see, a lot of traffic coming in Fort Worth. Gonna head west. Look, there were like a couple of choppers over there, kind of flying over something. I don't know, it kind of reminded me of Los Angeles for a little bit, but this is actually Fort Worth. So a lot of people coming to Fort Worth. But back to screenplays. Yeah, so I've been doing some studying on screenplay writing and just, trying to figure out, sorry about the Dutch angle. I'm putting my elbow down on the, I guess it's a console. So I'm just kind of resting my camera at this angle, but Dutch angle usually signifies if there's something wrong. There's nothing wrong at all. It's just, I'm just, other than just being comfortable, you can kind of see. But, yeah, so screenplay writing. Went back over through subtext and dialogue, and it's kind of hit and miss in a lot of situations. Now, they talk about 3 ways that subtext can come out. Of course, the dialogue itself. You might say something you don't mean, and it means something else, or there's something underneath what is there. And that could come out in action, is what I'm learning too. So you can write a lot of subtext in the action of a character, as well as, of course, the third aspect of what I learned about subtext is, of course, performance. And, that's, in a way, it could be out of the control of the writer. That's up to the actor. Because, after all, a screenplay is written for the screen, kind of for the actors, and, of course, not really for the audience. I mean, you could say the screenplay is for the audience, but it kind of isn't. It's kind of a guide to kind of tell the director, and the actor what's, how it's going to come out. And, people do follow up, though. People do follow up, and they do buy the screenplays, and they may read it word for word. They may watch the movie again, and then reread the screenplay. So, I guess you could say the screenplay could be for the audience as well. You don't give it to the audience, so it'd be different, if you're like, okay, we're going to watch this movie, but we have to receive the screenplay in the mail first before we watch the, it's not that kind of thing, So, it's like, you could see a really good movie and like, oh, I wonder what the screenplay's like, and then you read the screenplay and you're like, wow, this is really, very different, and that's usually not the case, because they'll go back and rewrite the screenplay to match the ultimate production of the movie, or the final, not the final draft, but the final editing, of the movie, the final production of the movie that's released, the premiere, of the movie, or what the movie looks like. And that can always be adjusted, and the screenplay can be rewritten and then published to fit, you see what I'm saying, to fit the movie, so you don't know. But according to David Lynch, who I did meet and talk to in Dallas a few years back, and we talked about screenplay writing,
This is before he went off on the Maharishabha thing or whatever it is that he does, the transcendental. He was doing transcendental meditation at the time. He didn't talk about it a whole lot till way later. And he certainly didn't talk to me about it. He didn't say anything about meditating or anything. He just said that everything is scripted in when it comes to what he was doing. And this is right after he showed Inland Empire, which the rumor on that is that there was no script at all for Inland Empire. And I don't know, to be honest, if there's a published script based upon what was done in Inland Empire that became the script that's not really a script, because I've heard there's no script at all for Inland Empire, so I don't know. But at the time, he said that everything was scripted, and maybe it was everything but Inland Empire. I don't know. He didn't say anything about that, and it may have been something, he was kind of like a subtext in him not saying that it was not scripted, but I learned later on that there was no script to it. But, only the actors would know. Lord Dern would probably, there might have been a script. There probably was. There probably was a script. But regardless, it would be interesting to maybe if someone would post something about movies that have no script, or if there was no script at all and everyone just kind of showed up and they just started making the movie. I don't know. There usually is a script involved in a lot of cases, but I don't know 100%. Now, I heard Robert Altman didn't always stick to the script, or he didn't always use a script. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. And then I heard Robert Altman did use a script. I've heard different things from different people, and not in every movie. Like some movies, there's improv moments or something that's not scripted, and they don't really talk about that a lot on YouTube. They don't talk about stuff that's not scripted that ends up in the movie. And I think that would be like a really good post. And everything here that you're watching, everything is scripted for sure, 100%. I always script everything and memorize even that moment right there, the little honk. I paid that guy $50 to honk at that exact moment, and I'm gonna have to send that to his PayPal. But yeah, I memorize everything the day before. It's just like a soap opera. Everything's written out. The exit 12A is in the script. Everything, you can't really see it. Everything on 0.5. You can see the cat. Everything is scripted. So, nah, I'm just joking. But you don't know. So one thing I notice a lot is, and like when I like to turn, I like to say "we" a lot. Like when I'm turning, like "we" is one thing I notice is like getting the audience hooked. "We," like kitty "we." So getting the audience hooked on something, "we," is like a really hard "we" thing to do. And do a little vocal exercise because you get them kind of trapped into the story in a way, or like sucked in. I guess sucked in is a better than, you don't really trap them in the story. You might could say that, but they're more like kind of sucked in, or they're held at attention. So one of the things I learned today is if the audience stops asking what's going to happen next, then they don't watch the rest of the movie. So they're, what you realize is when you're writing a screenplay or you're making a movie, you always want the audience guessing, like, what's going to happen next? What possibly can happen next? And that's kind of the thing that keeps it going, And so he said, if they don't ask that during the movie, then you've got a bomb, you got a flop. The Room, which is Bobby Wiseau, whatever his name is, Tommy Wiseau. You don't know, it's like, you can predict it, and then, they lose interest. So it's got to be unpredictable. All right, first one, 3 minutes, 0.9 miles, brought to you by Planters Heat Peanuts. All right, so the Crescent opened a couple of months ago. It's right here off of Camp Bowie. I guess like on the corner of Van Cliburn Way. You can see people kind of dining right there, kind of other people walking up, and it's got a little valet parking. It's a brand new hotel that just opened, literally just opened, right next to the museum district, where you got the piano pavilion and all the other fun stuff that's over there. Eamon Carter's up this way, right down the street from the University of North Texas Health Center. Which is a department, or it's a campus that's not in Denton, it's in Fort Worth. They brought the campus here. I graduated from the University of North Texas, but this is the medical campus. Is really what it is. They do research here and things like that. All right. Yeah, their mapping system is kind of, it's a little weird. So I've been trying to figure out lately. It's like they put it usually like a little ahead or a little behind where you're actually really supposed to be. Now you can't see it at all. It's like, you know, it doesn't read that you're turning around yet. But it's actually way down the other way. This is in the 3-9 section. Oh man, it takes a little bit of time. See, like it's showing. Well, it's not going to spin around and show me now, but you could see it when I write it. It's like way off, like maybe like 3 or 4 houses off, really. Trying to get the shot, but some kid was bouncing some ball. You know, I didn't really get to get it. It's kind of like the city coming over the hill kind of thing. I got some of it. I was trying to obscure the kid that was bouncing some ball. Turned into a Steve Martin steamroller scene. You have to be a Steve Martin fan to understand the joke. So I saw a really cool 1983 movie, Suburbia. It was produced by Roger Corman. It's the people that helped out Martin Scorsese. It's actually directed by a female. She's a real weird last name. It's like, has an SPH in it or something. It's a real weird last name, but anyway, she directed it. She also directed something like the decline of civilization, the decline of something civilization, or something, I don't know, some kind of documentary. But the movie that she did is called Suburbia, and it's actually a pretty good movie. I think it's better than the Linkletter's remake, which Linklater had only borrowed from the title. It has nothing to do with the actual real movie. But it's actually kind of good. It's got one of the characters in it that plays one of the lead punks, the punk movie. He was actually in Platoon. Oh, I can't think of his name. I'll have to look it up later. But this little blonde surfer dude in Platoon that gets shot, you know. Like, never thought I'd get shot. That guy. He plays the lead punk guy in Suburbia. It's kind of like, it's got a lot of weird plot twists. It starts off really very dramatic with a Doberman Pinscher and a baby, and it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like it starts off a little kind of punk rock, but it was actually directed by a woman. Very strange kind of thing. When I saw that, I was like, this is like produced by Roger Corman. You know, it was a pretty interesting thing. That was the guy that like you had to go out in Hollywood and make a Roger Corman film. I don't know if he's around anymore. I'm assuming he's probably not. All right, next one, 642, 6 minutes, 2.3. All right, next one's 3 minutes, 1.3, and whoops, 6:51, 3 minutes, 1.4. Sorry about that. All right, run this one off of WSR 808, 4 minutes, 2.5. 350-125, go! So I put on the first song, Ideal Living, by a band called Joy Division. It's the one that goes 350-125, go! But it's a little bit slower than that. Yeah, looks like they're gonna probably come out to sometimes it's easier for them to kind of have like a rendezvous kind of thing. So on Joy Division's Ideal for Living, the first two songs I really like. I want to maybe fit that into the screenplay somehow. And we can see the butterfly right there. You can see like half of it. It's kind of lit up there. You can kind of see it. All right, head off this way. Second song on Ideal Living, the Joy Division goes dun 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 dun. It's kind of a real creative kind of rhythm. It's a very all right, next one's 8:49, 5 minutes, 2 miles. Suit on. I was like real fat. I was just, oh yeah, here's your Italian food. Are you a size 14? Was you a great big fat person? I recall from that first song on Joy Division Ideal Living is I can still hear my footsteps. Dun, 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 dun. It's like I can't tell what the chorus is. I'll have to try to find the lyrics on it. I think it's an EP. So it plays from the beginning to the end through the songs. They just kind of mesh together. The EP is kind of like their standout album, you know, the album that made them famous kind of thing. It's usually an exciting album that gets, you know, the public's attention kind of thing. Then they could kind of, you know, loosen up a little bit on Unknown Pleasures. You know, it was still pretty commercial album even of that time. You know, good enough to get located, you know, to get noticed, you know, from America, because they were going to fly to America before Ian Curtis killed himself, but they never got a chance to, and then they turned it in New Order. But and then of course, you know, Closer was an album he didn't want to make, but they made it anyway, which was a little more kind of personal, kind of not as commercial, you know, like the EP is very punk rock. It doesn't even sound like Joy Division at all. It doesn't even sound like Ian Curtis. It sounds like some other band, but it really is them though. All right, right, looks like another night of delivery. We're going to head back to see Linda and Kitty. Yeah, there he is. Okay, Kitty, watch out.